This bonus episode of the PaynePoints Podcast was recorded live during K-Pop Social Night at the Podcast Festival, an event benefiting the National Alliance on Mental Illness. To learn more about K-Pop Social Night, visit solo.to/KPSN, and to learn more about the National Alliance on Mental Illness and what they do, go to nami.org. Thanks for listening. All right, well, welcome to the Meet the Host segment with Ask Me About Kpop and PaynePoints. If we can have both of the hosts of Ask Me About Kpop introduce themselves, where are you from, and what do you do, I guess.
Sure. Shannon, why don't you take it away?
Okay. Hi, I'm Shannon. I am one of the hosts of Ask Me About Kpop. I live in Los Angeles currently. I was born out here, but I grew up mostly in Austin, Texas. And I am a digital podcast marketing specialist at Sirius XM Radio.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Professional.
Angelica, tell us about you.
Hello, my name's Angelica. I was born and raised in Austin, Texas, which is where Shannon and I met. But now I also live in Los Angeles, and I am a teacher. I right now work for the county, and I work with first-year teachers who are getting their own credential. So I teach teachers how to teach.
Good deal. Well, as Texans, we think Austin's pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
just saying.
So this is not y'all's first time at KPSN, the Podcast Festival. This is your second time. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown for people who may be new to your podcast, what you guys did last year and what you plan on doing this year for the festival?
Sure. So last year we were so honored to be part of the first KPSN Fest. It was really fun. And we'd all been inside for like 4 months at that point, and people really needed it. And it was a really good day. And it also happened to be my K-pop anniversary that day, my 7 years of being a K-pop fan.
Wow.
So that was really exciting. 8 is coming up next week. But last year we did, because our podcast, if you're not familiar with our podcast, Ask Me About Kpop, is an educational K-pop podcast. It is our mission to teach the world about K-pop, whether you're a brand new fan or you've been listening for 20 years. We hope you can learn something from us because we learn things every single week. So last year we did like a vocabulary special. Sometimes we do K-pop vocabulary words in our episodes. So last year we picked 10 vocabulary words we'd never covered before and ran those down. And then this year we're going to do an episode that is part of a newer series or segment of episodes that we started doing last year, where we look at the year 2000, or in this case 2001, in K-pop. And so we're just going to run down the second half of the year. We put out our part 1 earlier this year. And so today we're going to do part 2, where we look at the major comebacks, debuts, and major news items of July through December of 2001.
Cool. Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
You guys got your start a few years ago. How has your
3.5 years ago, actually, to be exact.
Yeah, my brain was like trying to pull that information from a file, and I think it got deleted somewhere. So, So what's the story behind creating your podcast? And the name obviously is pretty self-explanatory, but maybe there's a story there you'd like to share.
The story is just that when I was the first of the friend group to get into K-pop, I drug her in very quickly. It only took like a couple of months to like get her on my side. And we were learning so much about this thing, and we were so obsessed with it. And it was like all we wanted to talk about. And we would find ourselves in social situations just like wishing that people would ask us about K-pop so that we could talk about it. And like I said, I work at a podcast network, so podcasting is like a passion of mine, and I always wanted to have my own podcast.
Right.
But we got to guest on another podcast at my network that was called How to Be Less Old. And we went on to explain K-pop to the host and had too much fun and felt like we didn't explain anything and had like, we could have done it forever. So that was sort of where our podcast was born. Out of that desire to share K-pop with the world so people would ask us about it.
Creating a specific platform to just get all that passion and energy for this particular topic out.
And now I have to ask, Shannon, you said that last year the festival was on like the 7-year anniversary of you becoming a K-pop fan.
Yes.
There's a story there that I want to hear.
Sure.
So would you mind sharing?
Yes, on our podcast, we call this a K-pop origin story. And whenever we have guests on, we ask them to tell their origin story of how they got into K-pop. And mine is that I enjoy reaction videos on YouTube. And I was very into a channel that at the time was called The Fine Brothers. And I think now it's just called React in all caps. But they had a series where like little kids would eat weird food, or like old people would watch Nicki Minaj videos or whatever.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
And this was YouTubers react to K-pop like part 2 or something. It came out on July 18th, 2013. And I watched it and my mind exploded. And then I just spent the whole night like in a rabbit hole, and it just like exploded from there. But it was just watching other people watch K-pop. But it was specifically the Girls' Generation I Got a Boy music video, because that is a classic SM Frankenstein song where the song completely changes in the middle. And I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And I just think that it like awoken, it just like, it awoken something in my soul. And then I was changed forever.
That's fun. And Helika, do you have an origin story, or did Shannon just bug you till you finally gave in?
My origin story is Shannon, but like she said, it didn't take very long afterward. I think I came home for like a Christmas break or something when I was at school. Or no, it must have been summer because you said it was July. So she definitely showed me a couple of different things. And I remember, like, I know I watched the I Got a Boy video. I know we watched like Shiny Everybody Dance Practice. And I remember being like, I don't know about this yet. Like, let me do some research on my own or whatever, because we obviously had a lot of shared interests already. And one of the things we love is like Disney Channel and like like cheesy pop music. Yeah. So I was like, I know that I can get into this, but I need to do some swimming around on my own. And then I think I always forget if it was History or Mama, but I think it was, which is the one that starts with the really big, like, in the beginning, there were 12 or whatever. I think
that's History.
I want to say it's History too.
I think so too. So I watched the EXO History music video, which is just like wildly cinematic. And I had like the I Got a Boy, like I just never seen anything. Okay, thank you very much. It's Mama.
We were wrong.
I always get them confused. They're like kind of in
they
the
are
same
similar.
Era. But so the one that has like the whole like animated, like Dumbledore tells the origin of the world or whatever, like that whole music video is what got me. Because I watched that and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is amazing. And I was hooked.
How has y'all's podcast evolved from the early days? Is it basically still the same format, or have y'all kind of changed some things along the way and long-term fans are like, yeah, it's different, or, you know?
Ooh, I mean, I guess the fans would have to answer that, but I think overall we've kept the same format the entire time. Mm-hmm. Like we figured out our format at episode 3 is when we started our like random game segment that we do to end every episode. Mm-hmm. And so from then on, it's pretty much like kept a segmented format. But in the beginning, we had to be like very, very basic about the K-pop, like explain things at a real base level. And now, like we said today, we're just going to be looking at 6 months of a specific year 20 years ago, because like that's where we've gotten to, is that the K-pop we get to explore now is much more niche because we've covered the broader topics already.
I actually have an interesting question regarding that. So you guys got the podcast started in 2018. From y'all's perspective, how has K-pop changed from 2018 to midsummer 2021?
So much. Yeah. The 2 p.m. comeback, I feel like, has really, really been like slapping me in the face with how much K-pop has changed. Just like watching 2 p.m. like have to do the new K-pop things. I'm just like, oh my God, these are like K-pop's so different now. I feel like I would say the biggest difference aside from the like international audience, which I think is one of the main like causes of the differences, is the way that it's like expanded and grown. But the way that idols and fans interact with each other, like the fan interaction is different. It's always been a big part of K-pop with like fan chants and light sticks and all these things, but now I feel like with, like V Lives, and especially with the 2020, like on virtual concerts and like all these online events and fan signs, and like you can FaceTime with Mino or whatever, like those things are so crazy. I like still can't wrap my brain around those aspects.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what, we're going to have fun here. We're going to just learn about y'all. Have fun. What is your favorite podcast song right now at this moment? Go.
K-pop song.
K-pop song.
Yes.
Favorite K-pop.
Oh, I was going to say
Thank
I have favorite podcast theme songs if that's what you want to talk about. But.
No, my brain just wasn't working. Remember the migraine from earlier?
No, I had a stroke in our other Meet the Hosts.
I just traded back and forth. Your favorite K-pop song? Thank you. Also, Pop and Pod, they're too close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
it's in our handle, AMA K-pop Pod, and we always have to say it's 2 Ps. Anyway, Pop Pod. Favorite K-pop song right this minute?
Yeah, right now.
Ooh, I mean, I feel like the one I've listened to the most is 2PM's whole album. But I feel like if I had to pick a favorite right now, as in one that I keep going back to, it would be Alcohol Free by Twice.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. It's just so light and fun. And like, I don't know, it's just a perfect summer song.
That's a
Awesome.
great choice. I think my most like recent favorite thing is Same Dream, Same Mind, Same Night from the new 17 album. I just think it's perfection. But the most enduring song of 2021 so far for me is Stacy ASAP. I think that's the most like addictive song I've ever heard in my life. And every time it comes on, I'm happy to hear it. So
Awesome. I will admit right now, because people keep talking about 2 p.m., I haven't listened to the 2 p.m. comeback yet.
It's okay.
So I'll have to get to that. Because
Can you even call yourself a K-pop fan?
It's irrelevant. So, all right. So what K-pop song would you be and why?
Oh,
What personifies
what
you?
K-pop song would I be? Holy cow. I feel
like
like
that's a lot to go
this
through.
requires like days of meditation. Oh my God.
No, you don't get days. And
I know. Oh God.
What if
I
you
think I have an answer.
you have an answer?
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
because
I
I was
think
going to
I have an
say,
I'll
answer.
look and think for a minute.
y'all could also answer for each other what Shannon thinks and Helica
that's
is.
That's a
what-
good.
very
That's good.
interesting.
But yes, Shannon, tell us what you think you are.
I think my song is My by A-Pink. It
Okay.
was like their comeback from like 2012, 2013. It's very, very 90s, like bubblegum pop. And they were like polka dots and floral in the music video, which was very my aesthetic. And like that song, that was like one of the first K-pop songs that I heard. And it was just like, oh, I'm going to love this for the rest of my life. So I think maybe My is like my song.
Okay, based
I
on
guess.
those parameters, I choose You Don't Love Me by Speak Up, because it's a belty song that is like in a lower register, and it's fun, but it's very cheeky. And like the music video, the girls are wearing these like kind of retro like pinup outfits, which is an aesthetic I really like, but they're also wearing these like massive, like exaggerated padded butts, which is just like a sense of humor that I think is really funny. So I'll go with that one.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Now answer for each other.
Oh gosh.
My God, a K-pop song that is Anika.
I thought this would be easier.
I was gonna say, I feel like we're maybe
Oh, this
testing
is
our
a
friendship
very
a little bit right
difficult
now.
question.
Because then the other person could get offended.
Oh, true.
Or,
Oh, I
I'm kidding.
just saw Mara's answer in the chat, which is the easy for me, and I love that. Or WJSN, the black easy for me, and I love that. Love all of those great suits. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, Shannon, I think a Taeyeon song, like maybe the classic right?
Okay.
Of just like Taeyeon in her like field. I think that one for you.
Okay, that's good. I think I want to
Big
give
and
you,
soaring.
I think Red Velvet Peekaboo is your song. I think
love
that
it.
that is your song. I think because Red Velvet's energy is very much your energy, and I've always
Yeah.
like associated them with you. And I know you
can
like
see
loved that comeback, and that we drive past that monster house all the time in our goings abouts. Like it reminds me of you. So I think Red Velvet Peekaboo is my answer.
Well, I love it. I was gonna pick Red Velvet Bad Boy as my choice for myself. So
Oh, you guys are just soulmates. I love that. I believe Sarah had a question.
I do. Well, it's kind of along the same lines. If you could be in the K-pop industry, if you were part of that world, not just as a fan, would you be a singer, one of the idols? Would you be a producer, like behind the scenes, technical, like cutting albums? Would you be a promoter?
Choreographer.
Yeah. What part of the K-pop
Costume
world
designer,
would you be if you had a job in that world?
Main vocal.
I mean, that's probably a good
Shannon is an excellent singer, so that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
she is. Well, we always joked that if we had a group together, she would be the main vocal and I would be the face. But if I was actually in the industry, like realistically, I feel like I would rather be a stylist. Or
You would be so good at that. She is the most effortlessly stylish person that I've ever known. Even when we were teenagers, she dressed better than everyone.
Look at her
all the
hair.
time.
It's so cute. I'm sure it was supposed to have that sort of messy, not really put together look, and yet it looks fabulous. So, you know.
Thank you. I would definitely
totally agree.
enjoy that. I would enjoy being a stylist, but I would also enjoy like on an actual practical, like I am trained for this and could do it tomorrow. Like I'll be an English teacher to the stars. Like I'll help you. I would help like I'll write English versions of the lyrics. I'll help you with the pronunciation. I'll teach you how to say hello, whatever, when you're doing your international fan meets. I would just be like the token English speaker of the company.
And help SM with their Sminglish.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is with the inspiration behind this job that I have like designed in my head.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That works.
If you could be in charge of an entertainment company for 1 year, which one would it be and why?
Holy crap. What a question.
You could be a part of HYB and get all that money.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
I don't know what that is though.
I still don't quite understand
still
what's
don't
happening
get
over
it.
there.
Do you
I'm
think
trying to
I
think of
understand
if
it?
there-
No idea.
I'm trying to think if there's like a tiny, like if there's like a small, like if there's a group I like that's at like a weird tiny company that I could like scoop.
Yeah,
or,
to
like,
go and be
help.
at like Beat Entertainment to like get Ace everywhere they need to be, or like,
Sure.
or you could go to P Nation and just like hang out with Hyuna
That
for a
is
while.
the answer. I
Yeah.
would like to just go work at P Nation. I'll do anything. I would like
Excellent.
to hang out over there. That would be fun.
My answer is definitely SM because
Great.
how could I resist? I mean, I have to meet Chanyeol eventually, and that's the most direct route.
Excellent.
You guys are also a podcast like we are. And so, getting off the ground, trying to find listeners, get attention, get people to be interested in your, I know you kind of had a built-in sort of market because K-pop is such a big deal, but how did you guys go about, I guess for lack of a better term, marketing yourselves to get people to listen and tune in and enjoy your podcast?
I think that we didn't do much more standard than like create social media handles and, say, hey, we're out here. And I feel like we were very fortunate that people just started like finding us in a way that felt very natural. Like
The
I didn't
algorithm gods favored you.
Perhaps.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well, we did a couple of small things too. I just saw somebody mention in the chat that we did the first like project we ever did was we did like a fan project where we went to a Korea Times Music Festival at the Hollywood Bowl. And so we brought light sticks for all the groups and we like advertised on our own social media that we would have them. But then also while we were there, we could just hand them out. And then it came with like a little business card or whatever that said, ask me about K-pop. And we got to, it spread the word that way. And we've done that with a few other concerts too. Like we have buttons and cards that we like pass out. Cause then that way, you know, we're already at a place where it's like, well, these are our people. So here, if anybody wants to talk about K-pop, here we are.
Yeah.
We are about the halfway point-ish at your Meet the Host segment. So we want to get into kind of the reason why we're all here, which is the KPSN Podcast Festival's annual focus is raising awareness about mental health. And so we wanted to ask you both what motivated you to support mental health awareness?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Shannon, do you have an answer right off the bat? Because I can take it.
My answer is just that I'm terribly mentally ill.
Me too.
I know all about those things.
Aren't we all?
I'm very passionate about that stuff because I'm a person that started having like deep issues in high school and got a therapist and have seen many therapists and have done group therapy and have done all kinds of things that are so like beneficial and wonderful to my life. And I think that those things, like people should have access to stuff like that. And in any way that we can support, like helping people get help I just think that's nice.
Yeah. And
I agree.
It's sort of easiest, or there really was actually a direct K-pop connection in that for us as well, because one of the reasons we started the podcast is because after we lost Jonghyun in December of 2017, we really wanted to find a way to still be able to love and enjoy K-pop. And because he took his own life and suffered from a lot of mental health issues, and there is like a huge stigma against mental health, which is one of the reasons that it led to suicide in the first place, you know, this whole like umbrella of mental health. I think like we are definitely try to be vocal about advocating like for, you know, taking mental health breaks and like putting yourself first and thinking about when like checking in with yourself, learning how to, know when you need to step back or ask for help in whatever ways. We're very, very near and dear to the podcast for sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I love that. Do you guys have any particular like issue or like soapbox you're on? Are you get on these days, or is it just general everything?
Oh, I just live on like a permanent like a giant soapbox that is just all about all the evils of the current modern world.
Just tap dancing up there all the time. Yeah.
All the time. Capitalism is bad and Jeff Bezos is bad and just like all day long and like housing. Get me started on housing crisis. You want to talk to me about homeless people? Like I'll just yell for hours.
And all of those things encompass mental health in some way, shape or form.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true. Like mental health is really like when you get down to most of those evils or issues that we're thinking like we need more support in this or resources in this or whatever. It's like it all eventually connects to mental health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well, ladies, life gets hard. It gets stressful. You get filled with anxiety. What do you guys do to give yourself some self-care and love and just take a break from whatever's bothering you? What do you do? What's your go-to self-care thing?
In the before times, I used to treat myself to the Korean spa. That was like my favorite, like take a whole day to just like be naked and have someone scrub all my skin off. And then I can just like go home a new person. But I think that's had to change a lot in like being stuck inside. And that was honestly kind of a really hard thing about quarantine in general, is like living at home or living at work and then like leaving work to be like, now I have to relax, but I'm still here. And like everything started feeling very like a chore. But some things that I find comfort in, I like to rewatch things like old K-pop videos, or like we really liked the show We Got Married that isn't on anymore, and I have like a horde of it on a hard drive and I'll bust that out if I need to go live in old memories. I also love my Nintendo Switch and just like laying down and playing Breath of the Wild and listening to some podcasts for a little while. that's been my go-to recharge lately, is just like go to Hyrule with Link. And I'm listening to a podcast right now that I really enjoyed. I've been binging it. It's called I Said No Gifts with Bridger Winegar. And it's this comedy writer, Bridger Winegar, and he has like a famous person come on, and he told them not to bring him a gift, but they always bring him a gift because he said no gifts. And then they talk about the gift and he interviews them, and he's very charming, and it's just like a lovely, relaxing podcast. So recommendation for a totally non-K-pop thing, I Said No Gifts is a good podcast.
I love it.
Yeah.
Video games are my jam right now too for decompressing. So.
Angelica, what about you?
I've never been a video game person. I'm terribly bad at them. To the point where people have told me that it's not fun to play with me because I'm so bad. So I'm like, all right, it's just not my thing. But I love escapist fiction. And so I'm in like a book club that was originally, it was like a fantasy young adult book club. And then like from that book club, we spurred like a little watch club that's like fantasy romance. And so I am constantly reading at least like 3 books and probably in the middle of like 4 different shows. Wow. And honestly, K-pop is a really big go-to for me, like whether I'm rewatching a music video or a variety segment or just like some funny little clip that like immediately makes me happy or takes my mind off of things, or just like listening to music or taking 30 minutes to try and learn a bit of choreo. There's just so many different aspects of K-pop that you can kind of dive into. So that's a big go-to for me.
Yes, dance. I forgot about it because we've been away from it for so long and it's killing us. But we used to attend a K-pop dance class here in LA twice a week, and we performed like around the town, usually in the summers on the weekend. It was a big part of our lives, and exercise is obviously great for your brain. So I miss that so much because not only were we like in amazing shape, but we like knew the dances to our favorite K-pop songs, and we got to be with our friends and perform in public, and everything about it was great, and I miss it so much.
Yeah,
I hope that y'all eventually get to go back to doing that.
Me too. Yeah. We are just like waiting. We're just waiting for the day.
For sure.
You know, and Angelica, you talking about, you know, TV shows that you like to watch. You were on our podcast a few weeks ago talking about your experience as a teacher, and you had mentioned, we were talking about, you know, what do you like to do when you're not at work? And you mentioned watching some TV shows, and you said Lupin. And my husband and I actually just finished watching the 2 seasons that are on Netflix, and that was amazing.
Wait, Lupin?
Yeah, you said you were watching Lupin.
Lupin?
Yeah.
I don't think that was me. I've never seen that show.
I am almost sure you said that too. Yeah. That is really weird.
Oh my God, Lupin? Did I have like a hallucination?
Glitch in the Matrix.
I feel like I need to look. I don't even think I've ever heard of it. Lupin.
Oh my God, that's really weird because I don't know who.
I did not imagine that.
I've never heard of this show.
We're gonna have to go back and listen to it again.
Something happened, y'all. Something weird happened. Anyway, I swear to God, we had a conversation with you about that TV show, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go watch that, and I did, and it was great. Thank you.
Well, I will take the recommendation, and I will now watch that show and report back to you.
That's gonna drive me nuts because I swear it was her.
Yeah, no, same. That's really strange.
Maybe it was me, and I'm the one who's having a strange brain.
No, I don't know. I might be in an alternate universe right now. Who knows?
All right. So speaking of TV shows, we just got finished speaking with Certified Nunas, and we talked a lot about K-dramas. So we wanted to ask you both: are you guys watching any K-dramas right now, or C-dramas? Angelica?
I started Doom at Your Service 2 days ago. I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm a big Seoingook fan, so I'm interested in that. I'm not sure what's going on yet. It seems very vague and weird and magical, but I think it will be fun. But in 2020, the Netflix drama, It's Okay to Not Be Okay. Speaking of mental health, hey, here we go.
Yeah,
that
I've
drama
seen that one come through my thing.
Wonderful. It was so good, and I feel like it did such a nice job of portraying things like alcoholism and PTSD and autism and personality disorders. And like, I don't know, they were very careful about things. And like, oh my God, everyone in it was so hot and like, and it was so creepy. And I loved it so much. I loved it so much. But I wish I had more time for drama watching, but since they require so much attentive focus and I'm such a look at my phone while I watch TV person, that I have to like really want to watch the drama to be like into it. So it helps when I'm like in love with the main actor or whatever.
I'm not watching any K-dramas right now. I recently finished a C-drama called Word of Honor, and I'm like in the middle of another one called Legend of Fae. But there's one coming up, which it doesn't have a release date yet, but it's supposed to come out at some point this year, and it stars Wang Yibo, who is in the K-pop group Unique and also in the Untamed, but it also stars Victoria's Song from FX, and I really, really, really want to watch it. But it doesn't have an air date yet. So hopefully sometime before the end of the year, we will be able to watch whatever that beautiful show is. And it's going to be one of those like crazy fantasy martial arts dramas, which is my
budget
jam.
Looks so large.
Oh yeah, the budget is big, like way better than the Untamed. This is like a feature film level budget, which is great.
Oh, wow.
Excellent. Now, there have been a lot of comebacks in the year 2021. I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite comeback that has already happened? And what is one that you are looking forward to or hoping for this year?
I mean, I think that there is only one answer, and that Shiny came back this year. Like, nothing can top that. I do think 2 p.m. returning to us like really just sits right under it. It's been an excellent year for second gen stands. Like, we're really living right now. I gotta tell you, we're really living right now. But having 2 Shiny comebacks this year is just like unspeakably amazing. I'm so happy about it. I'm looking forward to Key's solo album, which should be coming out soon. I love a Key solo. I said this on our podcast, but I'd really like A-Pink to do a comeback. Like, I know Naeun left the company, but like now that 2 p.m. has done it, I'm going to expect it out of everybody. Like, if you split companies, then you still have to come back. I told you. That would make me happy because like for their 10th anniversary, we just got like one anniversary single. I think it would be nice to have like a real A-Pink comeback, you know? But yeah, I think that's my answer. Angelica, do you have a different answer?
Definitely don't have a different answer for what has been our favorite so far, like Shiny, period. And then 2 p.m. very, very, very close second. Very close. Hot on the heels. But I don't know. It's something that I'm looking forward to be honest. I never keep up with the like announcements and the calendars and like, you know, when they put out at the beginning of the month, like so-and-so is coming out, whatever, like these are the things that will be out in October. I never keep up with that. I am like constantly living under a rock. And the only reason that I know of things is because Shannon tells me. So I don't know, surprise me.
Excellent. Do you know, we were talking about self-care a minute ago. Do you guys have any K-pop songs or albums that you just gravitate towards that help kind of lift your mood?
Yes, 100%.
Well, what are they?
Shannon? Let me think. I have like, just like putting Shiny on will comfort me immensely just at any point, like, because that's my happy place. But like, I don't know, like a good fun, like old school jam, like Brown Eyed Girls, Abracadabra, I think is like a freaking perfect K-pop song, or like Beast, Beautiful Night. Like there's some like second gen bangers that at any point will just like lift my mood. I don't know. I go to K-pop for comfort so much.
Yeah. And I have like different things. I have different things I go to for like what kind of comfort I need. Like if I'm feeling sad or tired and like need to kind of like stay in that mood, like maybe I don't need to like switch it right away, I need to like be in the feeling, then maybe I'll listen to like Shiny's whole The Story of Light. Like I'll just put the playlist on and like listen to it all, and go through the range of emotions that goes through. Or I'll listen to like some of Jong's old albums if I need to like be sad. But then, you know, if there's something that's like, I need to be an instant mood carrier. Oh, well, we have a Spotify playlist called Forced Joy. We like made a playlist of songs where like if I need something that's instantly going to pick me up, Ace's Take Me Higher is probably my go-to. But that is on the Forced Joy playlist, and like songs that just make you move right away, that like it comes on and I can't help but dance to it.
Gotta dance.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm just curious because, you know, we all have the fangirl fantasies, right? So if you could be like BFFs with an idol, anybody, who would it be?
I think I know the answers for both of them.
Oh,
can we hear your guesses?
Right. Yeah. Let's hear that first.
Yes, because I think that Shannon's answer absolutely would be Hyuna. Automatically Hyuna.
Yes.
And then for Angelica, my immediate thought was Angelica would want to be best friends with Key.
I was thinking.
I'm the number one fan. I win.
You win, Megan.
You do win.
Okay, so if you couldn't pick Hyuna and Key,
who would it be?
See, I weirdly feel like my answer to the, like, we answered it on our show a long time ago, like, who's an idol you'd want to have a drink with? And my answer is Key, because I feel like I could effectively communicate with Key, and it like wouldn't. And if this is a magical scenario where we can all understand each other and this is comfortable. But I always think about it logically, like, oh, Key and I could have wine and we could totally talk, and like it would be fine, and there would be no like communication barriers, and we would get along just fine. But oh my God, what idols seem like fun friends? I mean, they all seem like fun friends.
I think if I didn't pick Key, I would pick Hani from EXID.
Oh yeah,
because she seems really fun and down to earth, and I think she would be a good friend to have.
Excellent, good deal.
Second best,
love
just in case.
Yeah. A backup.
Shifting gears just a tad, you know, you guys are podcasters, we're podcasters. You guys have been doing this for 3+ years. I'm sure you've been asked on multiple occasions, well, how do you get into that? You know, because I feel like for these niche topics, it's very, you know, podcasting is a great way to get your ideas out there and share with your fellow community. So we get asked that question. It's not as hard as you would think, but it can be difficult. You don't need fancy equipment, as we've talked about when we had you guys on our podcast a while back. Are there any things what advice would you give someone who came to you and said, we want to get started? What kind of format should we do? How long should it be? What practical advice do you have from your own experience? Not all the technical stuff, but just like the typical like things that people don't think about, you know?
I would say I think the best piece of advice we could give someone is to try and be consistent, because if you're going to make a podcast, then it's going to be hopefully a regularly updated piece of content, right? So you want to create something that your listeners can depend on. They know when to get it, where to get it. They have an idea of what they're going to expect. So having the way that we have like a pretty basic format, obviously the topics of our episodes are always different, but listeners know that like the intro is always the same. And then we take a break, and then we do this game, and then we do recommendations, and like the ending's always the same. So I think having consistency and going into your recording with a plan, because the last thing somebody wants to listen to is just a meandering conversation of your opinions, because I think that's what a lot of people go into when they they think of like, well, anyone can make a podcast, and that's true, but not everyone can make one that's worth listening to, I think, in that sense, or at least to say like not everyone's stream of consciousness is necessarily worth listening to. So have a plan.
A really famous podcaster comes to mind when she describes it like that. I'm not going to go into that, but you all probably know who I'm talking about. I do.
Over here.
I very much agree with that answer. Consistency. There was, not posting regularly and then having a plan, some kind of a format to follow. That's what I've told people. Like, look, you can't just sit down and just start blabbing. We had recently had a bonus episode type thing about true crime because it came up in every single interview we did. And so we were like, let's do a bonus episode about it. And I researched for like a week and a half. I had a whole outline.
Sarah worked really hard on that one.
Because I was like, we can't just sit there and like ramble on.
Wax philosophical.
We got to do something specific.
Reason, yeah.
So I very much, I agree. Angelica.
So where can people, we're getting close to the end and I want to save some fun stuff for last. We've got about 10 minutes left, but where can people find you if they've enjoyed this Meet the Host session and they're like, hey, we need to listen to these girls. Where can they find you? Where can they interact with you? All that good stuff.
We can be found all kinds of places. Our social media handle everywhere is at AMA Kpop Pod. That's 2 P's, Pop Pod. And all of our social media handles have in the bio our link tree, which is, linktree/AMA Kpop Pod. And that will take you to our Discord community where some of our Discord community members are here in the chat right now. And Megan is one of them. You can join that. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to support us financially, we will reward you with bonus episodes once a month. They're usually videos and they're usually really long. We try to make it worth it. And our podcast is available everywhere that podcasts are found.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah, that link tree just like grows every month, I feel like.
Longer and longer.
So I have some silly fun questions that I can guess.
I was gonna for those who are listening along that same vein, what's next for you guys? What are we?
Yes.
What can we anticipate seeing from you in the future?
Oh man, I mean, we have
merch,
a lot of
merch.
Merch.
Megan has been asking for merch for a long time.
We had really big dreams in the before times about merch, and
there will be after times.
There will be after times.
There will be after times eventually.
So like merch would be really great. We've been talking about like maybe expanding the Patreon a little bit, like offering different tiers and like more different content. I also have like big plans, but like all of our episodes, it will take lots of research. I have big plans to try to refresh our like first 15 episodes.
I would love that.
Because like you said at the beginning, K-pop has changed. Like even in the 3.5 years we've done our show, so much about K-pop has changed that like in our music video episode, we describe all these tropes that nobody does anymore because it changed.
Yeah. And even like our company episode where we break down the 3 major companies, like that's not true anymore. So it didn't take long for our encyclopedia to become outdated.
Awesome.
So maybe some updates.
Okay.
Good deal. All right. What were your fun questions?
Okay. Fun questions since we have about
7
minutes.
7 minutes.
Thank you. I remember the migraine. We keep coming back to that. Okay. If you had to adopt any K-pop idol who is younger than you, who would it be?
Like adopt them and raise them in my home.
Yes.
Like a pet.
Because my like first
Don't
thought,
call people pets.
That's not.
my first thought was like Eric from The Boys, just because I feel like he needs more like stern raising. Like he is still such a child, but I don't want to be the one to do it. So I don't think that's actually my answer.
Okay, great.
Maybe one of those tiny weeklies, like I don't know, like all these like 4th gen like little girls, they're like all so cute, like the aespas and like I don't and Itzy, like all those Itzies. I would totally adopt an Itzy.
I feel like Ava would say that.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter, who's a K-pop fan. And Haley?
My answer is 10. I already refer to him as my son. So
Right.
I feel like any other answer would just be inappropriate.
Your son 10 and his hot friend Lucas.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need both of them.
Well, hot friend Lucas will come over after school.
Okay, great.
Oh boy.
If you were, I think that this is an appropriate question to ask. If you were going to get blackout drunk with any idol, who would it be?
Oh my God.
Maybe you're both
Mino
getting...
seems like a really adorable drunk.
Okay.
He seems like a really adorable drunk. Like people say that he gets like excessively polite and is like very, very loving. And he just like is that guy who's just like, I just love you, man, at the end of the night. So that sounds really fun to me. I would like to get real drunk and sappy with Mino. I think that would be so fun.
Good. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I think it depends on like the kind of blackout we're going for. Like if it's one where we're just like, yeah, let's have a night in and like just drink a lot, like the two of us, I think Mino's a great answer. But if it was like, no, let's rage, my choice is the entirety of 17.
Oh my God.
Because they did a Going 17 episode where like the theme of the episode was let's get blackout drunk. And so they just like rented a house and got so drunk, and with the exception of Hoshi, I thought all of them were super fun. And so Hoshi is one of those drunks that I think gets very kissy and he gets very loud.
Yeah.
But the rest of the crew was a great time.
Excellent. If you were to have, in the theme of mental health awareness, if you were to have an idol that you have a self-care day with, who would it be?
Ming Hao.
That's
That
a
boy
good
knows
choice.
how to relax. The 8 from 17, because I know that would involve like a walk in nature, maybe an art class, and it would end with a glass of wine.
I was just gonna say yes.
That sounds
absolutely,
like
glass
a
of wine.
wonderful day.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like Sarah, we need to do that.
Yeah.
Soon.
I think my answer is Juhani. I think I would really like to spend a nice day with my honey, and I think he would be great company. And he reminds me of my friend Austin, who I used to live with and who like married me and my husband. And like, I don't know, I just feel like me and honey would like get along and have a nice fun day together, and we'd eat good food and it would be nice.
Yeah. And he needs to relax.
And he needs to relax.
He really does. How are y'all handling the show new enlistment news?
I don't know if Angelica knows. Did
Wait.
Did you see?
Oh no.
Okay,
No.
that face.
It was
That
just
face.
broken.
Oh.
Wait,
What is the news?
What just happened?
Oh,
You
he's
just
enlisting
ruined-
next week.
Yeah.
Next week!
This is a great way to end this segment.
Chat is going crazy right now.
Angelica, I'm so sorry.
I'm not prepared.
There's a lot
Oh
of
my
people that said
God.
that they just found out as well. So you're not alone, Angelica.
I'm so sorry.
Way to ruin her day.
A full day to process this. I can't.
Yeah, no,
A bobby pin fell out of my hair in the commotion. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry, but this is gonna make for a great video we post later.
Her face, man.
So yeah, so I'm guessing not well.
I will not take it well.
Okay, me neither. Because you know what that means? Wonho's not far behind.
I know. I get every time it starts with one and then the dominoes of it all. And
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't even get to have Shonu in the last
I know,
comeback.
baby.
I know.
Missing for so long.
I'm so sorry. Well, now you'll be a military wife times 2.
Again.
That's all I do.
Oh goodness. Yes,
I
especially
still
now.
have, just because it's here, I still have my military wife on my
It's adorable.
the whole
Of
time Mino
Mino?
was enlisted. I kept
Oh
this
my
on my desk, and I
goodness.
haven't changed it because I don't know, it reminds me of what we've been through.
So now you need to make one for Angelica to cope with
Yeah.
her
definitely
husband
need one of
leaving.
Shonu. I
Yeah.
definitely do.
Man, Angelica, I'm so sorry. I thought that you might have.
It's okay. I had to find out eventually. I'm glad it could be through in a safe space.
You are amongst friends, here to catch you.
Well, in the last minute, do y'all have any final thoughts or anything that y'all want to say before we have to say goodbye?
Just that it was really lovely to talk to you ladies as always.
Yes,
And,
it was great to talk to y'all again.
really excited about our show, which is in an hour and 10 minutes. If you
Good
want
deal.
to watch some wacky music videos and see some old stages and hear some truly terrible and some pretty good music from 20 years ago, it's a real mix. We always have fun with these episodes. We find crazy things in the history that you might not know. So
Oh, yeah.
please come check that out if it's not 2 a.m. for you and you can do that.
I will be there.
Good deal.
We have some fun history in this episode for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. This has been a
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes, as always.
That's
And
great.
I mean, I'm sure we'll be visiting with each other again sometime soon
Oh,
since
yeah.
we both
Yes,
have podcasts.
please.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome.
Thank
Well,
y'all.
y'all enjoy the rest of the festival.
Yes.
And
Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
bye.